And of course, I like the succession planning. Most clubs would have stopped at the PM, but you can have a PND. So at no point will we have leadership challenges. Which is also the way to go, because having everybody here and having everyone in the room working together ensures that you're learning, you're understanding, and by the time your turn comes, you'll be able to just pick up and continue. And that is what we're encouraging clubs to do. You're a new club, so we do not want you to have that culture that many clubs suffer off of, whereby the president, it's about the president and their year. And everything starts and stops with them in that year, and then the next person comes, and it's like they're reinventing the wheel. Clubs do not grow that way. The way a club grows is when each one comes and does their part and knows that another will come and they take it on, and because ultimately our interest is for the club to grow. As much as individuals make a contribution, ultimately it is the club's growth that we should be looking at. And then again, as I said, as a forward-looking club, I commend you for the unit trust, for looking at creating some sort of endowment for the club. Because indeed, in many clubs, and especially when you're operating in an economy such as ours, it becomes strenuous when every time you have to go to members and say, now we need money for this, now we need money for this. Now, as much as people are generous and have come to serve, we must always be mindful that they also have other demands on their money elsewhere. And so we do not want to deplete our members. We certainly do not want them to suffer from what we call donor fatigue. Because we know that each and every one of you here probably has what we call a black tax. You probably have a queue of relatives, extended family behind you who are also calling you for contributions, isn't it? So in the club, it helps if we have more sustainable ways of ensuring that even as we give, it does not become, it doesn't become a burden on our members. So, Madam President and your board, and of course all the club members, I can only commend you. And as I said, we'll be watching you very, very closely. People can come and, as I said, benchmark on this club. Having said that, there are certain areas that I would also want to point you to as a new club, and things that perhaps you need to think about. Madam President, you mentioned that you have initiatives of planting trees. This Rotary year, as you may know, we do not have a standalone signature project, but we are encouraging clubs to integrate the environment and climate change, or rather climate action, in everything that clubs do. Because we know that without addressing the environment, we may not be here for a long time. Or certainly successive generations will not be happy with us if we leave for them, an environment that is perhaps more prone to drought and floods and all the things that we're seeing. And in this Rotary year, we have what we call Plant Your Balance. And next year, we'll be celebrating the 100th District Conference. And that District Conference coincides with slightly over 100 years of Rotary in Africa. Rotary has been in Africa for exactly 103 years, but we'll be celebrating just over a century next year. And so, as Rotary in this part of the world, we are asking ourselves that as we celebrate 100 years and thank the people who brought Rotary 100 years ago, what is it that we are going to bequeath the people who are going to come after us? And many of the things that we want clubs to focus on include ensuring that clubs remain vibrant, that Rotary continues to be relevant, and continues for the next 100 years. And that's why I want to commend you that many of the things that you're already doing are of a club that is already looking ahead and seeing that if we are to survive, we have to use technology, we have to do things differently. And so one of the things that we're thinking about and why we have brought the environment is exactly that. That even as we talk of our clubs surviving, we must be mindful of the environment that we live in. And so that is why we've asked each club to subtract its age from 100 years and multiply that by 100 and plant that as a minimum of trees. And so in your case, it would be 99 years because you're only 1 year. And so that means that at a minimum, we should plant 9,900 trees between now 2025 and maybe the end of 2025. And I'm glad that you've already started on that. But I want you to make sure that we are not just planting trees, we are growing trees. Because for a long time we just go, we plant, we take photos, and that's the last time we'll know about those trees. This time we are like, we have to monitor the growth of the trees. And we're encouraging clubs that even as we plant trees as Rotarians, let us, as much as possible, plant these trees in institutions with students particularly, and let us teach them so that they're the ones who are at the forefront of planting these trees, minding their growth, and ensuring that they become the environment stewards. Because we are the ones who've done the damage. Perhaps we can do some repair, but we need to nurture a crop of younger people who will be able to protect and be interested in ensuring that we have a safe, that we have a good environment, and that we are able to mitigate climate change. So trees is an area that I want you to be mindful of. The other, as a club, you have mentioned some of the projects that you're doing: ECD, WASH, the poultry project, the vocational skilling. And I think as a new club, it's important for you to touch different points and see what works for you. But even as you do that, I want to encourage you that review your projects and try and identify those where you're likely to have the greatest impact and the greatest visibility, and concentrate your resources on that. You don't want, while it is good at the beginning, going forward, you don't want to spread yourself too thinly. And I think I read that you plan to adopt a village. Yes. So I encourage you that if you find a locality where you can do more things together, it is better to do that rather than to go all over, because then your impact may not be as visible. But if you concentrate resources in a few places, you make the issue of unemployment and criminality is really becoming a challenge with street boys, with drug abuse, with alcohol abuse. And it is a challenge that we must address as Rotarians. What I would encourage you to do, in addition to the skills that you've identified, I encourage you to continuously look for newer skills also that you can add, so that we do not find ourselves in a situation where we have too many tailors, too many carpenters, and a small market. But rather, JOCARE is here because she's also our TRF fundraising chair. This Rotary year obviously is the TRF, and I'll leave it to you after I speak to introduce the 25 by 25 TRF really and talk about how we plan to raise funds in this Rotary year. But even as we plan to raise funds and as we plan to do projects, I'm glad that you're already collaborating, but I also want to encourage you to utilize our Rotary Foundation. I'm sure you've heard about it. We have our Rotary Foundation from which clubs can apply for global grants. The smallest grant that you can get from the Rotary Foundation is $30,000, which is about 100 million. And that is the smallest grant. Many times, clubs may get up to 150,000 US dollars. And imagine the impact you would have if you had 150,000, which is almost like 500 million. So I'm encouraging you, looking at the resources that you have in the room, and with the support of your AG and your NCA, to put your heads together and your mother club to help you develop a project proposal that can enable you to draw down money from the Rotary Foundation. The more we use the Rotary Foundation, the less stress we shall have on our members to fundraise. But so I'm encouraging you to really look at getting global grants from our Rotary Foundation. And lastly, but also very important, is that as a new club, the Assistant Governor mentioned is that for many clubs, immediately after charter, you lose members. And I've seen many clubs, including my own as a charter member. And you find that in the first year, you may even lose up to 50% of the membership. People come in with certain expectations. Once those are not met, they, sometimes they experience buyer's remorse and they're like, I don't think Rotary is for me. And they'll start giving all sorts of excuses, and sometimes they'll tell you it's financial, they're not paying dues, but sometimes they're just using it as an excuse to exit. So far you are doing very well, but even when you're doing well, there is no room for complacency. So one of the things that I really want to encourage you, President, and your board, is to continuously look at member engagement. Many people have come into this club with certain expectations of what being in Rotary will do for them. For some people, it may be networking opportunities. For others, it is friendships. For others, it's an opportunity to create impact in the community, in Mora, to make change. And for others, it could be anything. Others may even hope to travel or whatever. So it's important for you as a club to ensure that at all times you know why these members join Rotary. Never lose sight. Of course, when you ask everybody and say, how many people join Rotary for service, everyone put their hands up. How many people join for other reasons? People may be shy. But I just want to assure you members that people join Rotary for different reasons. And most of the time, as long as they are legitimate, as long as it is nothing illegal, all those reasons for why you join Rotary are valid. And we should never make some more important than others. What we need to do is to ensure that when people are coming, even if someone came to look for network opportunities to expand their business or whatever, it is our duty as a club to nurture them and direct them towards service, even as we create opportunities for them to network with people. Okay? So, what I'd like to encourage you and the membership team is to carry out annual, and of course with the support of your AG, to carry out annual membership satisfaction surveys, to carry out club health checks, so that at any one time you know how members are feeling. And for you members, I want to ask you to be honest in your feedback, because sometimes the most dissatisfied members are the ones who say nothing. When you ask them, how are things, they don't say anything, but they're not happy. So give candid feedback to enable continuous improvement. And then, having known what members' interests are, I then encourage you to ensure that you align the club's activities with the members' interests, that you give members an opportunity. Diversity is the opportunities to serve in action groups where you will liaise with people with similar professional backgrounds, and you can learn from each other, and you can also have opportunities to support in other areas and to teach other people. And then, of course, people also come in to socialize, to have fun. So you must make sure that your fellowships are always a fun place, a lively place to be for people to engage. But social activities don't also just stop in fellowships or in home hospitalities. There are other Rotary activities. I encourage the members, whenever you are in another town, whenever you're in Kampala, please visit other clubs, please participate in the activities of the district or other clubs. For example, as I mentioned, we will have our district conference in Jinja in April 2025. And I noted, Madam President, that you had a target of 5 members, which I kind of thought was rather low, 5 out of 60. And it's in Eastern Uganda, it's in Jinja, so it's not too far. But really, where I'd like you to come as a new club members, the district conference brings Rotarians from across the district. So it's sort of like having 1,500 people from all over the country in one space. And your experience of Rotary at the conference is different from anything else that you will find. You will get to see another side of Rotary, and a much more enjoyable, engaging, Rotary, which also makes you begin to see that you're part of a bigger thing. It ceases to be just us in Mora. You begin to see that you're really part of a bigger family. And once you go to a Rotary District Conference, you will not stop. And of course, I'm sure you're also aware about the convention in Calgary, in Canada, in June 2025. I'm also encouraging those who can. Please endeavor, those who can. All those are opportunities of bringing people together, mostly for networking, learning, but mostly networking, where you may meet people with whom you can actually get international partners to do with projects in Mora. But you can also make new friends and all sorts of things. So for whatever it is you do, membership engagement is key. Creating value for your members is critical. We must make sure that everybody who walks into this room, becomes a member of this club, can testify that Rotary was the best thing that happened in their lives. Certainly for many of us, that is what we can say, that it is one of the best things that happened in our lives. And that is what we wish for each and every person, to say that it is one of the best things that happened. But for them to do that, we have to expose them to the full spectrum of what being in Rotary means. All the benefits that one can derive from being a Rotarian. And so with those very many words, I want to thank you again for hosting me today. and I pledge to support you. I pledge to continue publicizing you as the model club. Thank you. And encouraging people to come and benchmark from this club. So never let me down on that one. And at this point, I want to invite Totoke to talk about the 25 by 25 TRF relay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, District Governor. And if there is any reason not to let down our District Governor, it's what I shared some time back. The District Governor is a relative to this club because you share the same name, the Rotary Club of Kampala. So the Rotary Club of Kampala Nalia, where the District Governor comes from, is a sibling to the Rotary Club of Mora, because you share the same parents. So we have all the reasons to work extremely hard not to let our District Governor down. I want to thank her very much for the outstanding leadership. She is a very unique leader because she leads with the team. She checks on us every single day, and I don't know how she does it. And she's on top of everything that we do. But I also want to thank you, District Governor, for trusting me with this very big responsibility on the Rotary Foundation. We are fundraising this year $700,000 as District 9213. And so far we are doing extremely well. The District Governor has launched a new initiative that will enable all of us Rotarians and Rotaractors to make a contribution to our foundation. And the principle around the JGO collection app that we all have seen in our WhatsApp group, we have also discussed it as a club, is to make sure that whatever little money you want to contribute, be it 1,000 shillings, be it 2,000 shillings, to help the poor, to help the needy through the foundation, it's very easy to transfer from your mobile phone into this collection app, which then the district puts together and sends to the Rotary Foundation against each of our names, because it will have your name, your club name, and your RI number. For those who have tested this app, it's very convenient. You can do it at any time, in any place, and with any amount that you would like to contribute at any one time. The magic behind it is consistency and making sure that we make multiple contributions so that we are able to give more. The Rotary Foundation credits $5 and above to individual members. And so when you contribute and you've exceeded that amount, then the Rotary office picks it up and sends it to the foundation and is credited against your name. We're working hard to make sure that once a month, every club receives its profile. And I'm sure that my president, in your inbox, right, in your email right now, there is a summary of the performance of the Rotary Club of Mora in the month of July. And I really want to thank you very much, Rotarian Lapusana, President-elect, and others who have tested this up and ensured that it is very, very easy, and we're able to explain to others how we can contribute using mobile money option. We're also saying that that's not the only method that we can contribute to the foundation. Those who prefer to do it through the bank, we can still do that. Those who want to use a Visa card, we can still do that. Those who want to make the collections at club level and then send it together through the Rotary office, we can also still do that. This alternative is really to catalyze all of us giving, and it's not about the amount, it's about supporting the foundation. For our new members or those who are prospects, the Rotary Foundation is the engine of Rotary. That's where we get this funding that the district governor has referred to as global grants. And it has lasted for over 109 years, 105 years, and still going strong. So we are all encouraged as Rotarians to give out of our own will. It's not a must that you have to give. It comes from your heart, because the world's needs are increasing. The problems around our own country and beyond are enormous. And until we feed this cow that gives us milk to be able to do what we do in the world as Rotary is only when we can contribute to its sustainability. This year, the Rotary Club of Mora has a goal of giving $4,000 to the annual fund. And the annual fund, as you might remember from some of our trainings, and we'll do more of this again and again until everybody's on board, is the fund that we contribute and receive in return after 3 years, about 47.5, about 50% comes back to our district, and then we are able to access it in terms of grants. And that's why the bigger chunk of our contributions, as guided by the district governor, goes to the annual fund. And we thank you so much for deciding to almost triple your last year's goal for the annual fund, but I believe we can do better. And why? Because we already have 2 or 3 members in our club who have made this pledge. One is Rotarian Robert Ochai, our chair for the Rotary Foundation. He has committed to join the Paul Harris Society this year, so he'll be giving another $1,000. We have also received a pledge from Rotarian Anthony Agama. He actually wants to become a benefactor this year, so he's also ready to make that contribution. We've also had other Rotarians willing to contribute. Rotarian Robert Olego has a very ambitious goal to become a major donor this year. We are already in touch with the Rotary Foundation staff, and they have sent him what it takes to become a major donor. So we pray that God provides. He has already committed to his timelines, and we pray that, we get this done. And I want to invite the rest of us to give generously. It's not just good for Uganda, it's not just good for Mora, but it's good for the vision of Rotary, where we want to transform communities, where we want to transform and make an impact, a lasting impact on this globe. Now, for Polio Plus, our target is $600, and I know that last year a club assembly approved that everybody would contribute $10 towards the Polio Plus, and so I know that we will exceed this number, but that should be an average. If you still feel that you want to contribute to Polio Plus, please do, and you can also do it, through the club. We have a polio officer, or the TRF officer can guide you and receive the money. The treasurer can receive the money, and it's sent to that. I want to remind us that there's recently cases reported in Uganda, just close to us in Mbale, of polio, and I know that the Ministry of Health is working together with Rotary and others to try and contain this situation. But what we are called upon as Rotarians is to make sure that we contribute to eradicating polio out of the world. Right now, we have 2 countries that are still having cases of polio, and that is Pakistan and Afghanistan. And for those of us who are older, you remember that it was very common to see children crippled with polio as compared to today. It's because of the hard work we have all put in, Rotary and partners, to make sure that polio is eradicated. And so when there are threats like that, we need to step up our game to make this contribution so that we're able to work with our partners, WHO and others, to make sure that the vaccinations and all the public health interventions that contain the polio virus are put in place. I also want to encourage that during our upcoming health camp, we do have immunization as part of, I think we do have that. Am I right? Yes, it is. Yeah. So it's going to be a mega health camp, and we also thank all the clubs, Rotary Club of Mbale, our Aegis Club, Rotary Club of Mbale Metro, Soroti, all those clubs are going to be convening in Mora to provide a service for 2 days to the communities in and around Mora. Now, in conclusion, for the Rotary Foundation, I beg that we exceed that goal because we can, but also because the need is there, and also because we need to reach our goal of $700,000 as soon as we can, because the second half of the year is going to be punctuated by the visit of the RI president. And for those who want to become major donors, the governor has kindly included a slot for us to meet the RI president, have a handshake, a photo moment, and a very memorable minute with our RI president. So there'll be that, and there'll also be other recognitions for the Paul Harris Society members and the Paul Harris Fellows and everybody that gives, because the governor encourages us to recognize even $1, because it takes less than $1 to buy a vaccine to save a baby from being crippled. So, District Governor, thank you so much for visiting this club, for inspiring this club. We commit to work with our AG and make you happy. Yes, and make you happy. And because of that, I also request, President, with your permission, that we again share the link right now in the club in case anybody is feeling good and they want to donate to the JOCARE app. You can, and it doesn't matter what the amount is. Please just test out that app. It's just a click, but make sure you have your RI number next to you. And if you don't, we are here. We can access the system. AG is here. We can always give you your RI number and save it somewhere, because you're going to give multiple times, and that will help. Thank you very much, District Governor, for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, our TRF Chair. As she said, the 25 by 25, the idea is to just have a minimum for everybody. It's Rotary, and it's $25 is our minimum for all Rotarians. And $25 is the equivalent of 100,000. And using this app, you can pay anything from as little as 5,000 to 100,000, you know, multiple times. So the idea is convenience and payment in smaller amounts. And at the end of the year, we want to tick the box that each and every one of us gave. And when we all give, I'm encouraging you that then you also make sure you utilize, because we are giving to the Rotary Foundation. So make sure that you draw down from it in terms of your global grants. You put in and you will get out so much more. And maybe Kate has told you before, sometimes clubs will give as little as $4,000, like you were planning, and they're able to get 100,000. Now you tell me which bank you get that sort of interest. So the Rotary Foundation is special. You put in and it gives you 10, 20 times over what you've invested. And that's why we must use the opportunity when we have it. So as I conclude, Madam President, I want to give you my banner, personal banner. This is my personal banner, and it symbolizes the theme under which we are both serving. And I want you to put it near you to remind you that in this year, you expected to advance the magic of Rotary every single day.
Thank you very much. And we promise, together with my club members, that we will work hard to achieve the magic, to let the community know the magic of Rotary.
I also want to hand you again a scarf with the theme, so that when you don't have the banner near you, you have the scarf around your neck, reminding you what is required.
Thank you so much. And before you sit, I want to say thank you very much and hand over to you our club banner. This is a sign that as members of Arasimora, we together with all members of Rotary globally will work hard to serve above self.
And as I sit, I also want to recognize some members of this club for their contribution to the club as well as to society And I think I'll start with Papa Akapwa. This is in recognition of. Yeah? This is in recognition of your services, not just to this club, but to the community and the nation as a whole. Thank you. I want to recognize our Sergeant at Arms. I could see that he was very, very active. Thank you for your commitment to Rotary.
So you want to step so that you face this a little bit like you face. That's perfect.
And your commitment to the club. Thank you very much. And finally, I want to recognize Rotarian Atai. When you were as old as I am, rarely did you come across somebody who was a teacher when you were a student. So she was a teacher in Mount St. Mary's, Namago.
Extend a little bit.
When I was Thank you.
I'm going to request that you stay there and you have a photo moment with the three of them. Papa Kagwai?
Right here.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, please.
It's now complete.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you very much, our dear district governor. You have given us very humble but educating, encouraging message and giving us highlights of how to proceed. And now that you've declared us already a model club. As members of the Rotary Club of Mora, we should turn both members here physically present and those online could be having one or two questions or concerns to share. This is the time we want to welcome you. If you're far, you could find how to let us reach out to you, but if you have your phone near for those physical, please let's have a show of your hand so that you're given a chance to speak, even those online. Welcome. Please, let's introduce ourselves and then speak out. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Benjamin Alito. I'm a director of an organization called MIDO. I'm a friend, a partner who has been supporting on tree planting. And I think this is our second time. The last time we had, we gave some trees, and even today we shall plant trees. As an organization, we also deal with the seeing livelihood and food security. We also looking at solutions in agriculture, animal and crop. So under crop, we do tree planting, carbon harvesting solutions, and then also orchards and other nutritious crops. My question is about the fundraising of the association club. Is it there a possibility for a club to do the income generation activity for self-sustainability? I did not hear that. Thank you. Is there provision for the club to invest in income generating activities for sustainability? Because when you talk about sustainability, we are looking at how can we have funds just beyond having every portion of time that we need to contribute. But we can have projects as an institution that we have some money that comes into our treasury. Thank you.
I'm going to request that for members who are physically here, in order to project our voices, could you please stand up when we are making a communication? Thank you.
Madam President, please.
Go ahead.
I'm worried about time.
About time?
Yes.
Yes, please. So,
And I see members from my village, or rather where we are going. You can ask them to introduce themselves. Would that be in order?
I think we'll first finish up with the questions, and then we introduce. We also have our prospective members who arrived.
Okay.
We'll give them that chance. Thank you very much and welcome.
Okay, Rogeria Dina.
Yes, thank you so much, the DJ, for a very good communication and encouraging message. I'm Tina Grace Among, Mission Brain Officer, Rotary Club of Ngora. My question is, we have been trying to engage with contacts out in order to bring them onto the board. But you find there's a lot of negativity. People have a different understanding about Rotary. Personally, I even got one time a certain inbox they sent me, which was really so weird and wicked, and they quoted it with a trademark of the logo of Rotary. But I really wanted to know, how can we come over that? Does Rotary have any plan of having a sensitization in the communities, like really getting down, though we are not registering them at that moment, but getting down to the people, explain to them, really make them understand what Rotary is all about, so that it will become easier for us to get members on board. I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rogeria Dina. Do we have any other person physically here who would like to ask? Okay, I think that is it. Members online, do you have any questions to the DJ? I see Rotarian Anthony Agama. Please proceed.
point is, am I being heard?
Yes, please.
I want to just applaud the DG for the passionate talk she has given us. Actually, as a charter member, I'm really very proud of being part of that organization. My question is, as the DG mentioned about the global fund, I'm asking, is there a technical arm in the district to help propel these aspirations of club to get this global fund? Because it will give, once the club gets a global fund, I'm very sure it will be very easy also to convince members to contribute more. But as of now, people are finding it hard to keep contributing year in and year out without any tangible results and impact in our society. I know our impact has been impact and visibility. I'm wondering, is there a technical group group in the district that can help clubs to achieve their aspirations as far as global fund is concerned? I want to thank you so much, DG, for coming tomorrow. I'm currently calling from Berlin. When I come back, I'm going to fulfill my benefactor funding and also in appreciation for your passionate talk to our club. Thank you, President, and thank you, Moderator. Thank you.
Thank you very much, PHF. Any other online questions so that the DG can respond at once? I suppose there is no other hand, so thank you very much. Thank you.
So thank you very much for the questions. And I'll start with the first one about whether there's a provision for clubs to invest in income generating activities. Typically in the past, clubs have not done that, investing in income generating activities. However, what is very important for a club is to be very, very clear on how these investment vehicles will be managed. And most of the times, I would encourage the club that you separate the investment vehicle, whatever activity you're doing, from your routine club activities. Have a clear management for it, that is separate from the club. Probably register it under a different name, but as a subsidiary maybe of the club or something like that. But be very clear about how it is managed so that investment group, how it would be managed. So you can have an investment group comprising of members of the club, but you're very clear about how it supports your work in the club. So try and separate the two things for, better stewardship and there. Let me say from the onset, Rotary brings together diverse people and actually embraces diversity. And so you'll find that there is no model Rotarian, there is no one type of Rotarian. And different people will come in, and each one of us actually is an ambassador, not what individuals do, but what we do as a collective, as Rotary. We want to be known as people of action. And the best publicity that we can get is through the service that we give communities. And so as a club, I would encourage you that where you have a project, publicize that, because many times people don't know what it is that we do. And that is why then people find all sorts of things to say about us. Let us be known by our works. So publicize your projects, and I'm glad you have someone who's very active publicizing your work. Publicize the projects that you're doing. Publicize the change that you're bringing into the communities, the change that you're bringing to individuals. And let that be what the public uses to judge you. But otherwise, even as you do that, I want each one of you to know that you're Rotary ambassadors. And how you choose to behave out there, unfortunately or fortunately, sometimes may be what people get to know about Rotary. So as an ambassador, guard our image jealously. And at all times, show them the difference between yourselves and other people. And that is how people will want to come and be part of this great organization. The final question, which was about grants, indeed we have a technical team. We have a grants team led by Rotarian Nelson Kabwama and our assistant governor and Totoket will be able to put you in touch with this team. There's a whole team of people who are out there who would come willingly to support this club, to write a feasible project proposal, to identify international partners, and to take you through an otherwise rigorous grant application process. It is not a walk in the park, but it is doable. It is very much doable, depending on what systems you have in place, but also depending on the quality of the project that you present. So there's a team of people who are more than willing to support you to be able to apply for global grants. And I also want to thank the person who asked this question. Thank you for your generosity to Rotary. Thank you for deeming it fit to share your resources with Rotary. And I look forward to welcoming you and pinning you as one of, I think you'll probably be the first benefactor of this Rotary year. So we are really looking forward. And also a major donor of the first major donor of this club. Okay. So the major donor is here. I welcome you. And I will even give you a pin to remind you that you made this pledge while I was here. And also I'll leave a pin for our benefactor. Yeah. So I want to thank you also for your generosity. And I look
Also
forward to
attended
coming
the
back.
convention last
I was
week.
a big
Yes.
convention.
I'm welcoming you.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
And thank you for your generosity.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much indeed in the responses. I now welcome Rotarian Robert Okudi to provide us with a vote of thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Makerere University. But since then, somehow, I think the ghost of Mora was preventing me from joining my neighboring clubs, Watule and Naria, and probably the mother club, Kololo. So I was really very happy, and I congratulate myself for becoming a charter member of Mora. Thank you so much for honoring us with your visit. Ngora is quite far from the Great North Road. You have to travel a little bit through rough roads. So we really appreciate you taking time to come and visit us. You have given us very passionate presentation and also help to markers. We are taking our leadership for granted, but when you come as the leader of the whole district to say that we're a model, we now start taking our leaders seriously. So I congratulate our leaders for bringing us this far and ensuring that we are maintaining this membership. Madam President, you are in the right place. As a gender equality advocate and another advocate for inclusivity, Mora is the place which is a place of reference. There are not very many places, not many constituencies where you find the politics being balanced. In Mora, you can find the chairperson is FDC, the member of parliament is NRM, the woman member of parliament is in a different party, like we have now. We have the chairman here, I think he went through as an independent. We have our member of parliament is NRM, and then the woman member of parliament is FDC. So that cosmopolitanism that we're talking about is very, very rare. I think it's really based on our history. Mora is a center of learning in Teso. And you'll find that we almost had all the institutions here. We had 2 PTCs, those are teacher training colleges. We have a high school, we had a very good hospital, and so many institutions, a deaf unit, so very, very rare. So that's why we're not surprised when we're model, because that's what is expected of Mora. When you go to places where people had to migrate to, like Serere and Kachumbara, they talk about Ingora Toko, people from Mora. We took development to these areas. So, Madam District Governor, thank you so much for your passionate talk. We thank so much our advisor, Toto. You see, it's not surprising that she's towering that high. You see, she comes at the slopes of the highest rock. So before GPS came around, you could locate her home just by that reference. She was in the tallest rock in Teso, and we are very, very happy that she has been able to maintain that history and also the history of Teso. We're also proud, of course, for Papa Atagwai. When you talk about a free and fair election in Uganda, you always associate it with the best way because of the values. Because of the value of Mora, I imagine that 100% of the population of Mora are Christians or belong to some other denomination which believes in integrity and professionalism. So thank you so much for coming. Wish you a nice stay in Mora. I hope you'll taste the mukaro. Yes, wish you a very enjoyable stay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Terry and Robert Ekodi. I now have the pleasure to thank the clubs that have honored us with their presence today. And we are going to start with the clubs that are physically here with us. Our president will be handing over our exchange banners as we do that. So the The first club that we are honoring today for gracing us with their presence is RC Kampala Nadia. And so I'll request, I'll request the NGA and the AG to also be present as we hand over.
So thank you very much for coming. When you go back to the Rotary Club of Nadia, tell them we love them and wish to welcome them tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. The second club that we'd like to honor is the club that our AG comes from, and that is the Rotary Club of Mbari. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much and welcome to Mora anytime, every Saturday. Come to Mora and say to the people of Mbari that we want to see them right here in Mora. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. And the third club is the Rotary Club of Sonde. We are our MCA, and I know that El Charles is here as well, a very strong friend of Rotary Club of Mora.
So thank you very much, friend of RC Mora, Toto. Toto is mommy, he is the mother of this club. So we are very humble to have them, and this is what we offer right now. Welcome.
Thank you very much. If I have missed any club in here, please let me know. But do allow me to recognize some of the clubs that have joined us online today. We do have the Rotary Club of Bombay in District 3141. And that is where our donor comes from, the one that supported our World Women Project. Thank you very much. May we also recognize the Rotary Club of Kampala Islands. Thank you, Des, for joining us. We also recognize the Rotary Club of Kampala South, where the LG comes from. Thank you, LG, for coming. Rotary Club of Untinda, thank you very much, where the Dean of Ages is from. Rotary Club of Soroti Central, thank you for joining us. Rotary Club of Kumi, our neighbors. And we know that you're going, the DG might be with you later today. So thank you very much for joining us online. And at the peak of it, we had 27 members online, and physically we had 34, and that includes Rotarians and guests. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. For all those who've been able to join us, we are very humbled to have you both physically and online. And please keep joining us. Whenever you see our flyer, feel free to connect with us. Thank you. So I want to take this time we've been having an assembly, so we need to dissolve our assembly, having shared the final toast. And then after we dissolve the assembly, we will then be able to share. We have members in attendance, our prospectives, our guests, we will be able to share with them after we've dissolved the assembly. So I want to request all of us to be upstanding for the final toast. And we are honored to be guided on our final toast by Papa Besweri Akabwa.
I propose
So, let's sit. Let's take up our seats. So I want to take this moment to dissolve. I want to take this moment to request a member to propose that this assembly be dissolved, and then one member will second, after which we will proceed with the check handover. Propose.
Okay, thank you so much, members. I'd like to propose and that we dissolve the assembly.
Thank you, PE.
I'm already upstanding. I want to second.
Director Public Image, they are humble. Now, the first time DG was here, AD was here, he advised us that we can have a number of things translated in Ates or norms and the rest. So members of the Rotary Club of Mora tried to translate Chimeza. And this is the right time that we are invited for that, and we call it a term. So it's time for a term. So while we are for a term, we'll be sharing a number of things, but most importantly, this is the time before we invite Mama Miriam to receive the check. I want to recognize the presence of our prospective members. Toto Esabu is around. Welcome. Our hands are itching to have you right here as a full paid-up member of the Rotary Club of Mora. Thank you very much. I also want to recognize our partner who has supported us with the seedlings and the rest. We are humbled to have you. And we request that because you do the same thing Rotary does, please come aboard and we'll have the same banner for Rotary. Thank you very much. We have members who have moved together with Mama Miriam, the members of the Youth Women Entrepreneurship Poultry Project. Kindly stand up for recognition. Women and men, thank you. We are humbled to have you. And this is the time we would wish that PE brings the and then we want to invite, also want to invite Mama Miriam and her members to come and receive it. So while they come, we say thank you to the people who are helping the world to get to know about Rotary Club of Mora, the media family. Thank you for coming. We also have our Rotaractor, the other side of the corridor. She's doing a lot of things that help us get branded. Thanks for coming. Our visiting friends of Rotary, we are humbled to have you. I have someone here as the team comes who mentored me when I went to senior one. I would cry. I think I had phobia for being in body. And now, today I see her, and I'm very glad that she's right here. We have Rose Achom. Thank you for joining us.
My name is
Ruth, sorry.
She is actually
Kata member.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. You are all welcome. My name is Lucia. I'm a Rotarian. I'm a certified public accountant, a member of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants. But most importantly, what I wanted to let you know is that I stay in Mara, just around Obuku.
So DG, AG,
NCA.
NCA, projects, PE. Please join us to hand over this. We are handing over this done check. But after this, the team will actually go with already signed check so that they start off the project work.
Come inside and then help you have a cocoa. And then all this. Okay. So can the needed. That is a great moment for all of us. Let the baby be.
In the middle.
Yes, right in the middle.
Because you're the person behind all this.
Even this, yeah.
So on behalf of the Rotary Club of Nora, it's my pleasure to hand over this check to our World Women's Entrepreneurship Project, a check in the amount of 7,594,000 shillings to this club, to this project. And may this project be the beginning of new opportunities for all of you. No, you have to have your face.
All right, thank you very much. It's photo moment.
Take all.
You might remove the scarf, Madam President. I see you don't like it that much right now. You want to change. Yes. You want to change. Members of the Rotary Club of Nora and our guests, we now have the photo. Can we please take just a few moments to finish this? So this will be between the DG and President Grace. After that, I would like the AG to join in. AG, please join in. The people who are taking photos, I need a cue from you that all is done, but thank you. That photo, can the PE join in? PE, I hope you know yourself, the PND, wherever you are, please join in. And the person who is so happy to be called IPP, our Chela President, please join in. And I'm told that the PN is going to join in as well. So, please. Okay. The PN will be somewhere, so I will be here, I guess. I think the CP should be that side. PNB, you're supposed to be here, so that we see how the succession is going to be. This is now the more Are we good now? Thank you very much. Can we then have the DG and all the members of the board? Can we join in? All the members of the board. Members of the board. Our president has already given our report, so the DG will not ask us about our individual reports. So okay. So some people will sit here. Okay. Thank you very Cameraman, I think is in the middle. MCA, I will need you here. Still on